fans. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou. Let's bring her back. She's back. She's back after a 1-week hiatus. Dori Lou is back in the sports bar.
Thank you. Well, great to be back.
We have got plenty to talk about. Let's bring in our next person. You know him as the... what did we dub him last time? We called him the Columbus Kid. How about that? Good old Josh. Josh, come on in there. There he is.
How's it going, Mikey?
3 weeks in a row. And we have a special guest from my past, and he is here to talk about our leadoff breaking news topic. He is the host of a great karaoke spot out in California, my good friend J Money James. Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Hey, greetings from Southern California.
How are things going out there right now? What's it like? What's
good? It's hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
Hot. It's like 90.
Feeling hot. Never mind.
We are done with the heat here in Tennessee. I promise you that. All right, friends and family.
I'm going to correct on that, Mikey dear. You're wrong, because the rest of this week we're going to be up in those upper 80s, low 90s again that we don't like with all that wonderful humidity.
Yuck. That's the one thing I hate about Tennessee weather. All right, folks, we're in the sports bar. Let's get started. I see Brandon in the comments. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, my brother? Make sure you drop those comments if you want us to anything we say. Call us out. We'll be glad to hear it. And also, later in the show, I get to try this. I wanted this for years. It is a good taste test. All right. We start the sports bar off with breaking news out of Southern California. This dropped about 2 hours before we were doing our errands in Knoxville. I'm on Twitter, and I find out the Angels are thinking about it after 20 years. Today, Angels baseball announced that the organization has initiated a formal process to evaluate strategic alternatives, including a possible sale of the team. Owner Artie Moreno stated, "It has been a great honor and privilege to own the Angels for 20 seasons. As an organization, we have worked to provide our fans an affordable and family-friendly ballpark experience while fielding competitive lineups which included some of the game's all-time greatest players. Although this difficult decision was entirely our choice and deserved a great deal of thoughtful consideration, my family and I have ultimately come to the conclusion that now is the time. Throughout this process, we will continue to run the franchise in the best interest of our fans, employees, players, and business partners." J Money, as I said in your intro, you're a bigger Angels fan than me. Give me your hot take, your initial first thought.
Man, I woke up to this news, and it's been almost 20 years that Artie Moreno's owned this team, and it's great news. I mean, the Angels are struggling. They haven't won anything for 8 years. So, and they have two of the best players in all of baseball on the team, and they can't seem to put it together for whatever reason. Pitching, offense. This year, the pitching is pretty good. It's the offense. Anything after Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout, there's nobody. So there's a big drop-off there. And as far as Artie selling the team, it's been a long time coming. They fired Joe Madden earlier this season in the midst of a 12-game losing streak, which turned out to be 14 14-game losing streak, and they fired Joe Madden, one of the best managers in all of baseball, mind you. And you knew something was going to happen, after that. I didn't know that. This is a big surprise to me, because I thought he was going to, he was going to keep the team for years and years and years. He has billions of dollars. So I think it's in the Angels' best interest that he does sell, because they got to they got to continue to win games. It's like they're losing. So yeah, it's a huge development. So
indeed, it is. It's been no secret.
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
It's okay. You're good. It's been no secret that I've not been a fan of him ever since he took over the team,
Okay.
for the main reason, of course, that he play in time. And he decided to call it, and the fans have been saying this for years, to call them the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim is a huge confusion stretch. You know, they won the World Series in 2002. Then Disney sold the team. Then he decided, well, they were then Moreno thought that's what they were in the beginning. They were the Los Angeles Angels. Well, if you want them to represent Los Angeles, I don't know, magically make that stadium that is currently on Gene Autry Way and Harbor Boulevard, pick that stadium up and actually put it in Los Angeles. Now, the next question, if this sale goes through, will the quality of the team get better? Who wants to take that answer?
Depends on who buys it and how they
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you're right. It all depends on who buys the team. I mean, Steve Ballmer, could swoop in. He's the owner of the Clippers. I think that would be a great idea for him to come in and possibly buy the Angels, because he's in it to win it. He wants to win. You've seen what he's done to the LA Clippers. He's brought in a lot of good players. They still don't win, but I mean, they've gone to the playoffs. They forever, like the Angels will forever live in the shadow of Los Angeles and the Dodgers, and the Clippers will forever be in the shadow of the LA Lakers. So, but the owner of the Clippers, great guy. It would behoove him to buy a team like the Angels. I think that could possibly work, but there's been no news out there. I don't even know if he's willing to even take on that big responsibility and owning another team. That would be huge. Anybody's better than Artie Moreno at this point.
Josh,
when he first came in. Yeah, sorry.
Josh, let me ask you this. Regardless of the team, regardless of the sport, how do you think ownership of a team will affect play?
I definitely would say better owner, better team. If people think that the Angels would do better under a new owner, then I say go for it.
Dori?
Well, it's going to depend on the owner, whoever buys the teams, whatever team it may be, whatever sport it may be. How invested is that owner going to be, and how is he going to redevelop the team that's already in existence?
Good question by Renegade. James, what do you think about this? How about having Henry Samuel buy the team? Keep
that could be a big possibility.
In Orange County.
Well, it's not official yet. They're exploring the idea. It looks like it's going to happen because they released that statement today saying that the time is now to sell the team. But it all starts from the owner. I mean, you've seen it the past 20 years. We've had
a drought. There's no way to say it. It's a drought.
It's been a long drought. With the players that we have, you can't go into full rebuild mode because you have players like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, two of the best players ever to play the game. And that's, you have to buy players and build around them. And that hasn't been done because Artie Moreno doesn't care, or he would have done it already. He's a marketing guy. He attached LA to the Angels. He tried to capture that LA brand, and it didn't work.
Well, it didn't work because of the geography.
It did work somewhat. Yeah.
Orange County is not Los Angeles. Orange, in fact,
right.
I'll say this. Even though I was born in LA County, Orange County is far superior than LA County. Orange cleaner. Orange County has a better market. Orange County has better attractions. LA County is Dodger Blue. LA County is not Angel Red.
That's true.
It's that simple. So if Samuel does buy the team and restore the Orange County name to the Angels, that'll be a great boost. Brandon says, I think they should sell someone that doesn't own another team because they would be involved with the other team more.
Well, It would depend on what other team that they possibly. I mean, if they own a hockey team, I don't see that being too much of a conflict with baseball team because of where those seasons run. But you can't own a hockey team and a football team because of those seasons running concurrently.
Good point. Very good point.
It's worked for Stan Kroenke, who owns the Rams and the Colorado Avalanche. He just won.
We don't talk about Colorado.
No, you don't mention Colorado to a Minnesota fan. She's still reeling from the Stanley Cup playoffs and from last season.
My apology.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm a Ducks fan, so
I'm sorry.
So am I. Well, finally, I've got a tag team partner in here that can actually back me up a little bit. But let's face it. Yeah, well, I know we haven't won the cup since 2007. Okay, we're still in a rebuilding phase. We have a Zegras. That's all we've got.
Sounds like you're more in the rebuilding phase than the Browns are.
What's that, Josh?
Sounds like you're still in more of a rebuilding phase than Browns and Steelers are.
I have a thought.
Go ahead.
The Angels. Since well, the only team out here that's pretty much out here is Atlanta. And I'm sorry. That's like driving through Los Angeles traffic-wise. No, thank you. So, hey, Angels, come to Tennessee. Somebody in Tennessee, bring a team to East Tennessee. Okay, that's all I have to say.
I'd be all for that. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, so.
Yes, you are.
It'd be perfect for me. I can move to Tennessee.
There you go. There we go.
Have them play across. Build them a new stadium across from Nissan Stadium and figure all that all out. Brandon says, I saw it happening with Paul Allen owning the Seahawks and the Blazers. I think he spent more helping the Seahawks. Yeah, I mean if you have to choose between football and basketball, I would choose football. We are gonna talk about basketball in the next segment, ironically, but football and basketball, there's not really a comparison. Football is one. Pop says owners are usually money men. They need an owner who is a baseball fan. Good point, Pop. I would think that if an owner wants to buy a baseball team, he has to like baseball. Otherwise, he's just going to be spending money left and right. Good point, Pop. Thank you.
Case in point, Artie Moreno obviously doesn't like baseball.
Yep.
Right?
Obviously so. All right. So, hello, Joe. Welcome into the Sports Bar. We're doing great. We're having a great day out here in Sevierville, Ohio, and California, talking about the latest topics in sports. So we'll see what happens with the Angels and see where they go. Of course, there was talk that they would even move to my home city of Long Beach. They wanted to put them by the arena. If that's a possibility, more power to them. Let's switch sports. We're moving into basketball now, and home of J Money's Los Angeles Lakers, their star player LeBron James, who hasn't won a title since 2019, has signed a 2-year contract extension for $97.1 million. Now, here's what's happened so far with the Lakers and him. He signed in July of 2018. He got a 4-year deal, $153.3 million. In his first season, the Lakers did not even make it to the playoffs. It was the year after that they went all the way and got the NBA title. When it came time to defend their title, they lost in the first round. And last year, they didn't even make it to the playoffs again. So, exactly. So this would make LeBron going through the 2024 season, that would make him a Laker for 6 years. First off, let's talk about the money, okay? $97.1 million for 2 seasons. Dori, you're taking the lead on this one. Initial thought. Go ahead.
You're throwing that kind of money around to keep a player who's not doing what you expected him to do and wanted him to do. And I mean, why? Really? Why? And is he worth the money? Are you just trying to keep his whatever his current lifestyle going? And is he playing for the love of the money or the love of the game? Does any of the athletes actually? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them probably, yeah. There are athletes out there that are worth some money. They are that good, but not almost $100 million for 2 years, really. And yeah, what happened to playing for the love of the game, or is it just the greed involved now? That's
J Money, your thoughts?
Well,
you got money.
Well, he loves LA. He has a big house. He has all the opportunity out here, more so than he had in Ohio. In
We're
Cleveland.
getting to you, Josh. Hang on.
And this is kind of like a Kobe-style contract we saw with Kobe Bryant. In his last years as a Laker, they were paying him millions of dollars, and the team didn't do anything. It's the same type of scenario you're going to get from LeBron. He's going to play a certain amount of games, get injured, get hurt, and then blame other people. That's what he does. He destroys teams. And they're going to bring in some of his old cronies to join him, and they're not going to go anywhere. And the next 2 years is just pretty much a precursor to him retiring with a bunch of money, and so he can play with his son Bronny possibly on a team for his last year. Then that's it. Then he can stay out here in LA and then continue other pursuits, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, LeBron, the destroyer of teams. Pretty much.
Renegade says you got to factor in the market. He did just have the movie come out last year. Regardless of the numbers, what the movie did and whatnot, he has the drawing power to put .com arena.
Right.
Josh, you were part of the. I know it's horrible that the Staples Center is no longer the Staples Center. I will still call it the Staples Center till
I still call it Staples.
I know. Josh, were you much of a LeBron hype guy when he played for the Cavaliers?
I remember where I was the day he left.
Did you? So you booted him out, didn't you?
I remember where I was the day he left. I remember where I was the day he came back. He admitted when he left us the first time he did it, for the money. He just wanted to go play with his buddies down in Florida. And look where that got him. LeBron has that name value. He has that star value. He is absolutely worth that money, good or not, just because he has that name value. Honestly, when he left the second time, I wasn't as upset just because, hey, he did get us that title when he was back. Our team has been working on getting better since he left the second time, and he still is very much involved in the community here back in Cleveland and in Ohio. He has a school here up in Cleveland that he owns. A friend of mine actually teaches at it. So people
he is back to at least the Cleveland community.
Yes, absolutely.
He is doing something good with this.
He still considers this home.
Okay.
He may live out in LA. He still considers Cleveland home. So I will give him that. It's LeBron James. It's the name value. Even if he doesn't do anything, it's comparable to The Undertaker in WWE. He doesn't do anything anymore, but you're still going to give him all that money for when he does show up. Pretty much.
Yeah, because I can understand that because that name alone is going to be a huge draw for people.
And even if LeBron is not having his best seasons anymore, the knowledge that he has, the skill set that he has, that he can help pass on, that's still an asset that the Lakers can use.
I can see that.
So I really didn't care all that much with it. I wasn't surprised either way. So it is what it is. We actually had a LeBron James question for the No DQ review last Thursday on Should LeBron James ever come to WWE? My answer is no.
No.
Thank you.
What
So that's a
point-
virtue.
What point is that going to bring? I mean, unless Triple H decides to bring back the special Raw guest host thing that he did all those years ago, there's no point of it. I mean, unless you even if WWE goes out to California and goes to Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena for a show, okay, then maybe, oh hey, LeBron's here. Hey, by the way, the Lakers are going to play this year. I could see promo thing, but putting him, don't put him in the ring, Shaq. Just remember that. 2, yeah, I mean, come on, Shaq did that twice, and look at how well that turned out. 2, somebody's gonna jump and do something stupid and drag him out of the arena like the Miz last night on Raw. I mean,
that was fun. That Dexter Loomis is fun.
Dexter Loomis is a joke. Renegade says, I always think it's good to have that locker room veteran to help guide the youngsters. That's what LeBron has leveled up to at his point. Well said, Renegade.
Pretty much.
Go ahead, Dori.
That's all I got to say about good old LeBron.
Dori, you were saying something before I cut you off?
That's okay. Well, I wanted to just touch on one more thing. With part of the thing with these stars making the amount of money that they do, when they do these promos or these shows, I would love to see Undertaker come to one of our indie shows that we're going to start going to more and put in an appearance. But what it would cost to cover that would actually drive a lot of fans to not be able to go with today's industry, with where everything is with the economy and stuff. Unless you're rolling in the money yourself, you're not going to be able to go enjoy that show. You're not going to be able to go to that meet and greet. There was a meet and greet else we were looking at going to, and I started scrolling through and looking at that prices. It's like, you want me to pay how much to have 3 minutes with the guy to get a picture with him? I mean, I would love to do that. But the reality is that's not something I can really put in my budget with the hours that I work, especially with the fact that I have had to work less hours and the various things I personally have had to deal with lately. There are people out there who work 2 jobs just to make their ends meet.
Oh, yeah.
And they may be a big fan. Well, you've just made him inaccessible to this major fan because he is worth this much money, but we got to cover the cost to see him. So we've got to charge this amount minimum to make sure we can cover that appearance. So sorry, you can't join us because we're going to charge this exorbitant sum. And that's one of my issues with these stars. You know, we're putting all this money out for them, $97.1 million for a 2-year contract. Your fans cannot necessarily be able to enjoy that now because that's going to raise prices for fans to be able to go see the games that he's in and that kind of thing. So that's just my last rant on it. Okay.
Exactly. Renegade is bringing up Sasha Banks. Think of it this way. She charges $30,000 for an appearance. How much is the promoter going to have to charge for a ticket in order to reach the cost for her appearance fee? Okay, well, let's do some quick math on this one. $30,000. And we'll just throw out for 300 guests. Pretty much comes up to $100 a ticket. Am I going to pay $100 a ticket? No. My reason, of course, as I stated on Open Mic Night 2 weeks ago, is I didn't like what Sasha Mercedes is doing. So I'm not going to drop that money. People have to work. Are they really going to put down $100 to meet somebody who wants you to stay six feet apart? No, it's not. Okay, that one I'll put as a maybe. Okay, I mean, you're not going to get to put your arm around her. You're not going to. You can talk to her, but like Dori said, you're only going to get a few minutes, if less than that, because you've got a long line of people that did pay that money to meet her. So, and it's not going to be like, oh, hi, I love you, signed Mercedes, next. Hi, I love you, signed Mercedes. That's going to be, so.
That's not worth $100 to me.
I know. Josh,
then,
would you drop $100? No.
And then you have to think too, they're going to say, well, how many people do we guarantee to come no matter what the cost is? So let's go with that $30,000 appearance fee. You can guarantee that 50 people are going to show up. The other 50 you're not sure about to be able to cover those fees. So they're going to actually have to have the price higher so they can have that guaranteed fee covered.
Exactly. $100 for the show. They're charging for more. Yeah, yep. like Renegade is saying. Renegade is saying this perfectly. $100 for the ticket to the show plus the extra money which she charges. Not using it to bash, just using it as an example. Thank you, Renegade. That's what we got there. Looks like we might have lost J Money due to possibly a signal. If we can get him back, that's okay. If not, Jeff is saying as far as WWE not putting him in the ring, he cites Rodman and Malone. Yeah, the Rodman and Malone was a disaster waiting to happen way back then. Of course, good old JM giving his 2 cents into the sports bar. So, so the quick final question is: will this money, if it's going to be paid out, will it bring a title to LA?
No.
Nah.
No. They're paying the money out. That doesn't guarantee the players are going to play any better.
Hello, Big Baller G. Thank you for showing up. Well, there you go. $97.1 million, which is what you can get now if you go and play Powerball and Mega Millions. Win that jackpot, and you can actually say you make more money than LeBron James.
Don't forget to buy a ticket.
Yeah, we'll go buy our tickets later. All right, segment 3 is a continuation from 2 episodes ago, and hopefully this will be the end of it. We'll see what happens in the season, but the saga of Deshaun and the Cleveland Browns is finally done. It's like you said earlier in the season premiere, Josh. You thought that the did I say that wrong there, Jeff? I'm sorry, my bad. I apologize. You said you were thinking that maybe it should be a year and a bigger fine. So the NFL Players Association has come that Deshaun Watson will be suspended for the first 11 games of the season, and he will pay $5 million.
Suspended for the first 11 regular games of the season. He's participating in the preseason stuff.
Thank you. He will not be available until week 12 or maybe even week 13, depending on what this team does. So, Josh, is it over and done with? Is that it? What's going to happen this season now?
So, it ended up being a settlement. Peter Harvey did not end up having to rule, which I think neither side wanted that, because if Harvey would have ruled a longer suspension than what we got with the settlement, the NFLPA would have taken the NFL to court and would have dragged up every single skeleton in the NFL's closet, specifically owners who have been accused of the exact same sort of things Deshaun Watson has been accused of and have received no punishment whatsoever. Robert Kraft being primary example number 1 right now. And the NFL didn't want that flat out. They did not want that being dragged into court and being proved as the hypocrites that the NFL is, pretty much. So that's the reason why there was a settlement. Neither side was fully happy. From what I've read, it includes 11 regular season games. Watson participated in the first preseason game, looking rusty as all heck, I will say. But Anthony Schwartz also needs to step up his game and catch the balls.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps. He did not participate in Game 2 on Sunday, and he will not participate in our game against the Bears, our last preseason game. His suspension officially starts August 30th, and where he will not be allowed into the facility on the sidelines at all whatsoever. He'll be doing things on his own. He is allowed back into the facility, I believe, in November. And then his first game back is in Houston against his former team, the Texans.
Ooh.
Which
Gonna
the
be
interesting part is about this is, from what I read before, the NFL did not want to go below 12 games because they didn't want him playing at that game. Probably because the Texans are not facing any punishment whatsoever for allowing all of this to happen to begin with. The Texans settled with all the women, but there's been no punishment or investigation into them by the NFL whatsoever. So that's going to get brought up for sure when Watson goes to play there. So we have Watson starting Week 12 versus the Texans. He also has a $5 million fine. Good. And also mandated therapy and counseling and a treatment plan that he must follow in order to still be reinstated. That I was very happy with.
I will agree with that.
That was a good thing. Watson, in the press conference, maintained his own innocence, as he's continued to do. I don't know how much I buy that, but it is what it is at this point. So what will happen, I don't know. Our third-string quarterback, Josh Dobbs, has looked absolutely amazing in the past two preseason games, especially versus the Eagles. He looked amazing. Josh Rosen, on the other hand, looked like absolute total crap. And how dare they put Bernie Kosar's number on him?
There's always something, isn't there?
Yeah, a little bit. So I think it remains to be seen how Watson will do in his first official game back. I think we will see Jacoby Brissett in his first game as a Browns against the Bears. I think that will determine if we end up doing some kind of trade for Jimmy G. I don't know right now. I think, again, it depends on how Jacoby looks. Josh Dobbs, he looks great. I consider him a very good quarterback.
I should have waited to pop this open. I'm sorry, but I wanted to get this in before we continued or anything. It tastes pretty good. I like it. It's good stuff.
Nice. And Josh Dobbs
a bit of a dark taste to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Josh Dobbs has been one of those that even Ben Roethlisberger tried to pick his brain. He's very good at studying the game, Josh Dobbs is. So he's a very, very good asset to the quarterback room. And he showed he's got what it takes. Yes, it's preseason, so it doesn't matter, as Jeff would say.
Jeff has got something to ask you about that. Go ahead and put it up. He brought it up in the comments. How about them boys this weekend, Josh? The Cowboys did win their game. We are going to put the scores up and go over game by game, but the Cowboys did win their game this past week.
Oh, congratulations. You won one game. Good job.
Oh, my God. This season, I swear, is going to be a bloodbath between your two teams. Yes, I did hear there is better than the IPA, but I did not find out about the lager until I went to Total Wine in Knoxville.
Total Wine and more. Great
store, by the way. Free plug. Mr. Yuck says the Packers have a good lineup to make it. Do you think Rodgers will get traded next season? No. Rodgers leaving Green Bay will be a disaster. Okay, there is no way.
Total respect for Rodgers as a QB, but I'm sorry, I still cannot vote. I'm sorry, I'm still a Vikings fan. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. I mean, that would if we thought that the news where Brady was coming back was huge, Rodgers leaving Green Bay to go somewhere else would be bigger. You can't go anywhere else without seeing Rodgers in green. It wouldn't happen.
There's more likelihood Tom Brady retires mid-season than Rodgers ends his career other than anything as a Green Bay Packer.
This actually tastes kind of smoky, but it does have a good taste to it.
And we'll see what happens with Brady because he's just coming back from his personal reasons why Brady was out. And there's rumors as to what it is, and that's even more interesting if those rumors are true.
Let me ask, going back to Watson really quickly, do you think that when he does come back, will it be to finish out the season and probably get some kind of pride if the Browns don't make the playoffs, or will it be that push to get them into the playoffs if it's possible?
I still think it's very much possible. Again, it all depends on what happens with Jacoby Brissett. And we have an interesting schedule, that's for sure. We face the Bills, we face Brady, we face the Patriots this year. So it's going to be a back and forth season. Andrew Berry has already said they will continue to have every position they will continue to evaluate. So if we are built to not wait. We are built to win now. That is how good our team is built. Again, we haven't seen most of our starters. We haven't seen Nick Chubb. We haven't seen Kareem Hunt, who requested a trade, but then he's back. I think Kareem could potentially be used as trade fodder in a potential trade for Jimmy G, if that happens. We've been seeing our rookies. Yeah, guys. I see it in the comments.
Yeah,
we've been seeing our rookies trying.
Pop loves to bash the Cowboys just as much as you do.
Oh, good. I have backup.
Yes, you do. It's Pop. Pop is one of the best backups to have. Love you, Pop.
So we've been seeing our rookies trying to do their best to try and make the team. We've got good rookies. I feel bad for Perrion. He's been struggling a bit, and that makes me sad, I'll be honest. But our team is built to win now. I think we do need to maybe get one more wide receiver, but we'll see what happens when the roster cuts come. I still do think we have a chance to do this. Depending on how Brissett shows out, Dobbs has shown he's capable. I think the idea is that Watson is a quarterback for years and years to come and to try and win continually. But I think we also want to try and win now as well.
Jeff said, sorry, I had a phone call come in. Funny how the Cowboys' near shutout was the end of the world, but a dominant win is a non-factor. Yeah. Oh, Jeff, if only you were here right now. Josh versus Jeff. Wow, who do you put your money on that one? Tough call.
Depends on how good I mean, as Josh said, and sorry I haven't gotten to watch any preseason, if they're having a really good start with just the preseason and their starters are not even out there, watch out for regular season. And I have noticed, just watching stats, that Cleveland has continuously been improving over the past several years. So go now. Are they still the
also,
no,
Dori, you were mentioning something about the Minnesota coaching staff. Do you have what you were talking about? New coaching staff for the Vikings, I think you said something about that?
Oh, yes.
Bless you.
Thanks.
You should have reminded me this earlier. So, God, I hate it when you do this to me.
You said it was Coach Zimmer, I think it was?
So Zimmer is gone.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, Zimmer is gone. Hold on. I've got it noted in my.
Okay.
I've got it.
We've got time. We can
come back to me. So go ahead.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and let's bring up the scores for for preseason week 2. I will apologize in advance. I did not get all the pick'em results in, so I will work on that, and I will post that to the group page. But the Bears beat the Seahawks 27-11. They are 2-0 in the preseason. The Patriots beat the Panthers 20-10. Now, again, remember, these are just the scores. When we get into week 1, that is when all the stats, the passes, the touchdowns, and insights for each game, those will come up. We're not doing them in the preseason because they haven't been made available yet. So 2010, Patriots beat the Panthers. The Packers beat the Saints 20-10. The Saints have not yet won a game in the preseason, but that's okay. The Texans actually beat the Rams 24-20. They're 2-0 so far. The Lions upset the Colts. That was a bit of a surprise. They barely squeaked out that victory, 27-26. They are 1-1. They play next week. The Colts have not yet won a game. The Bills did the best in the week. They scored 42 big points against the Broncos. They are undefeated so far in the preseason. Still bad news for the Commanders. They're not doing so well. That name change is not doing very well. 24-14, KC over the Commanders. Look at the Buccaneers. They're not really playing at all. They did not want to play in preseason week 2, only putting up 3 points against our new residential hometown team, the Titans, 13-3. San Francisco beat the Vikings 17-7.
Yes.
Vikings. Josh, you're going to have a ticked off Dori Lou. Don't do it. Don't poke that bear.
I have to root for the 49ers. You know my reason.
It's preseason. Count.
Okay, Jeff.
You're welcome.
The Steelers beat the Jaguars 16-15. There you go. The Jaguars are continuing their losing ways, as I predicted so far. The Raiders beat the Dolphins 15-13. Now, it says they are 3-0 because they did count the Hall of Fame game. I have not been counting that game, but they are currently undefeated in the preseason. If that's a thing to go forward, big props to the Raiders. If not, and they choke like they've been doing, well, the Raider Nation, of course, they have their fan base. Greatest fan base ever. Raider Nation, silver and black. Cowboys beat the Chargers 32-18. Wow, Pop. Oh. Pop. Woo. I love
Jeff's going to try and get in here just on pure spite. No matter his signal.
He will not go up against Pop. He will not do it. It might look good on film, but at the end of the day, it's a bad idea. Eagles beat the Browns 21-20. They're both 1-1. Giants beat the Bengals 25-22. The Ravens beat the Cardinals 24-17. And in a shocker, the Jets are winning now. They won 24-16. They might go the preseason 2-0. And if that happens, now if the preseason is of what's yet to come,
watch out, New York Jets.
The 3 commandments of Dori Lou. I know that third one quite well.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Don't tick off the bear.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't, especially when they're fighting. Jeff, come on. Raider Nation is everywhere, silver and black. That is hard to deny.
It doesn't matter if the Raiders are in California and Oakland, God forbid. Now they're in Vegas. It doesn't matter where the Raiders end up. They're going to have that fan base. Sorry, guys.
No matter what.
Yeah, no. I got to agree with Jeff on this one.
You got to agree with Jeff?
Yes, I said those words.
Well,
Oh, you like to tick them off, and then you want to agree with them. Whew. That sounds like my playbook. That sounds like my playbook. All righty. So there are the scores for
Yes.
week 2.
they're
Now,
definitely-
even Brandon agrees. There you go. The Raiders, the Lakers, can any California team not jack the Kings for their color scheme? Silver and black. That just shows they can afford enough paint to make themselves a skin shirt on global TV.
that is scary. That is scary.
It is.
Okay,
I think if he is ready to come in, I think we might have Noah Foster might be coming in. I think
Wait,
for the last.
oh man!
I think so. I did send him the link if he is available, and because we did actually have an AEW question in the comments, and who knows a lot more than AEW than the gentleman's gentleman Noah Foster. But he says he's stuck in traffic.
Aww.
Come on, Noah, we need you here. Well,
that's okay,
The
Noah.
simple man.
Be safe.
The simple.
All right.
Don't put yourself. Mr. Yuck put up the question: do you guys think AEW has too many titles, and why should we care about the FTW belt and whomever holds it? The first part of that question I can answer: yes, AEW has a ton of titles. As far as the FTW belt, that sounds like it's an old ripoff. Well, that sounds like it's Taz's belt because his whole gimmick was F the world. So I mean. That's probably another reason why I don't pay attention to AEW, because there are too many, you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt. However, I believe coming up this week, I believe they're actually going to do the big match between Punk and Moxley for the undisputed AEW matchup. I think that's coming up soon, this Wednesday, I believe. So that's good. I might actually, if I'm not doing anything that night, I might actually tune in to see that match because it sounds like a great match. And here comes good old Jack, the sports bar. He's here.
Oh my goodness!
He's gone. All right, yeah. I'm just jumping in real quick because JJ did put the comment up. Mikey, it is Taz's belt. It's the same belt, dude.
Okay, good.
And I cared about it when Ricky had it because I love me some Ricky Starks. He was almost a guest on the show had AEW not signed him, and they took him away from me, number one. Number two, Taz's son is now the champion, so that's a major deal.
Okay. Well, then absolutely we should care about it. Otherwise, Taz will choke us all out.
Well, I don't give a shit about Taz taking me out or not. I'll live and kiss my ass still. But I think it's a cool novelty act. Like, you don't want to put that belt on Punk or Moxley or whatever, but somebody that deserves enough of a shine, a little showcase, but you're not going to put a major title on them. Shit, let them run wild with it. Hell with it.
Oh, like the 24/7 belt.
No, I'm not going to compare Taz's title to that god awful piece of green garbage. Thank you though.
Save us our truth.
No, get rid of that.
That was it. Yeah, like I said, it's really bad. I'm actually in a restaurant waiting for a pickup. I just wanted to. I heard Mikey say it's almost like the original. I'm like, oh god, it is. I got to tag in. Oh my god.
Hi, Jeff.
Carry on, kids.
I'm glad you came in. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for coming in. All right, friends. Well,
that boys ain't them boys.
Well, sorry.
Oh, you would say, that's kind of cheap there, Josh. Saying that as he leaves, that's a low shot. Come on, dude.
He clicked out before I could say it.
So it doesn't mean you get a chance to say it.
Well, if Mike would ever shut up, because sometimes he likes to hear his own voice. We got to jump back to football. Yes, thank you. Pout all you want. I'm right. Pop's got an excellent comment here about the Raiders being confused homing pigeons. They don't know where their home is. That's very true. That is very true.
Like Lions fans now.
Right? Let's get that bad. But you had asked me a question about the coaching staff for Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, go ahead.
I found my note. So apparently from my previous reading, Kirk Cousins and Zimmer didn't really get along too well. There was a lot of tension there. But they now have Mike Shanahan, who Cousins has worked with before and has been coached under before. So they are meshing together a lot better. So hopefully, once we get past this preseason BS and actually get into the thick of things, we see some changes. Okay.
I like it. And that's going to take place next week. Remember, the season starts September 8th. That's when week 1 stuff happens. So we're going to get through preseason week 3. And we're going to continue, of course, with our pick'em contest. And hopefully I'll get my stuff together right. So all that. Josh, you said you were joining in for pick'em, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What about squares? Or do you want to get involved in that? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a quick update on that. So far, week 1's grid is doing quite well. We have sold 36 out of 100 squares. So that's a good thing. Remember, that game is September 12th when the Seahawks take on the Broncos on Monday Night Football. Remember, it's $1 a square. The grid is on my personal Facebook page, and I will put it there, and I will put it on. He said something, Jeff, about he's like no longer them boys or something. It was just a quick little.
Oh yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are no longer dem boys.
Yeah, he was just shooting at the hip as you left. Don't worry, I gave him stuff for it. So again, remember $1 a square. And if you don't get into the first square, it's the next one. Oh, and here we go. Okay, JJ has listed all the belts in AEW. They currently have the AEW Championship, the TNT Championship, the Tag Team Championships, the Women's Championships, the Trios Championship, the All Atlantic, the FTW, and the Interim Championship. But of course, the main belt will be unified this Wednesday. There's all the belts in WWE. Of course, the WWE Championship, the black belt, and the Universal belt that Roman Reigns is currently holding. The IC title, the US title, the Raw Tag Champs, SmackDown Champs, which the Usos hold, Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's, Women Tag Champ 24/7, the NXT Championship, and wow. Okay, 15 titles in WWE.
That's also not counting the NXT UK titles.
Yeah, and that's covering, you've got your SmackDown, you've got your Raw, you've got your NXT, and then is it NXT UK?
Yeah, yes. And then it will eventually become NXT Europe.
Okay, so I mean, we're not shoving all those belts on one show. AEW is just one show, is it not?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's AEW and Dark and all that. It looks like Noah Foster's knocking on the door, ready to come in. He says he's knocking and ready to go. If he's in backstage, let's bring him. Here he comes. There's the simple man.
Noah Where the hell am I?
Man, a simple man.
Okay.
Welcome. I mean, I get off work. I get off work from an 8-hour Zoom call, and I come home to grab Mountain Dew, and then I hear about this fan. I'm like, oh, okay, there's an AEW question. Sure, why not? But in all seriousness, hey, Mike, hey, Dori, Lou, Josh, always good to see you, and hello to everybody on the Championship Network and beyond, and all Stat Boy fans galore. Nice to see y'all.
Mr. Yuck asked, do you think AEW has too many titles, and should we care about the FTW belt? Noah, this is your forte.
It's one of those things where you look about quantity versus quality. I look at each of the champions, and they definitely demonstrate why they are a champion. And you got to look at the entire title picture. I mean, NJPW has 8 to 9 titles. WWE has freaking 8 to 9 titles. 2 of them, of course, merged. I'm not counting not my NXT titles. At AEW at heart, I don't think it does. It about has the same number of titles when you look at just the AEW ecosystem. You got the women's, you got the world, you got secondary men and women. You got tag titles, and then you got the trios, the championships, and the FTW title is unsanctioned. So technically, they got less. It depends how you look at the AEW ecosystem. So I don't think so, especially when it's not like they show every freaking last championship every dang week. So it's not like it's just a glorified, belt fest where they're basically props and not being, contended for, serious competition. Not like you just get like a filler match. So I don't think so when I just look at AEW. when it comes to showing all umbrellas of wrestling, maybe it's a little overkill with FTR holding 3 assistant championships, but hell, Ultimate Dragon held like 9 titles at one point. So why can't FTR do that in the year 2022 for tag team wrestling? Hello, Renegade. So no, I don't think they do. And as far as FTW, no, because it doesn't represent AEW. It represents an attitude of ECW from one of the brainchilds of a member of ECW himself, and that is Taz. I don't think it has to be declared as an AEW sanctioned championship. It's its own thing.
There you go. Noah Foster, what a great debut and coming into our sports bar and giving us a simple yet detailed explanation on AEW. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's why he's the simple man.
That's right.
He's a simple man. We still have some more. There. Make the shirt. There it is. Not my NXT. I'm just a simple man. Did you see the Toxic Attraction match on SmackDown? What'd you think of that?
I'll admit, ever since Triple H has taken head of creative, WWE has definitely engaged me more in the mainstay products. I did see that. Unfortunately, injuries happened, but with Toxic Attraction being in there, the right fit of an actual tag team, I thought they could be part of the finals. It'd be a nice, opposition to Io Sky and Dakota Kai. NXT versus not my NXT. But unfortunately, injuries happen. I thought that a pretty good match, though, for what they brought. And again, actual tag team, not two people brought together like Sonya Deville and Natalya.
Yeah,
Josh?
That's a good point.
And Noah, I got a question for you.
All right.
With last night, don't know how much you watched. How excited were you when we got Johnny effing wrestling?
Damn it. I'm
Shirt.
very
Welcome back,
intrigued,
Obama.
but there still has to be the elephant in the room. We have that NXT level fight Owens fighting Kevin Owens, the prize fighter. We have the focus on professional wrestling being demonstrated by the wrestlers. We have Johnny freaking wrestling now part of this tremendous roster, but there still is no top prize to chase after, nor no mainstay top star on that show. Until that's fixed, suspension of disbelief is still going to continue with me. Drew McIntyre hopes to fix that, but Clash of the Castle, do you bet against Roman Reigns? It has Paul Heyman figured out a way to make a loophole when only one title's on the line. I haven't seen anything regarding that yet, so still suspension of disbelief. But it's good to see Johnny Gargano back.
And hopefully he takes that Money in the Bank briefcase off of Theory.
All right, now you're just being crazy. I mean, the last time we saw Money in the Bank briefcase change hands, we all saw what happened with that. I mean, Mr.
Yes, and
Anderson.
I was excited and happy.
True.
Somebody
Based
needs
on
to take that. Go ahead,
Owens had a chance, though. I mean, again, Mr. Anderson, due to other reasons, Kennedy at the time. Of course, he got screwed out of WrestleMania 23 when he won. That was given an edge. Edge became an opportunist again. But it's one of those things right now where I look at Fury and Gargano. I like this because, again, Fury was part of The Way. So we'll see which way both Austin Fury and Johnny Gargano's futures go on Monday Night Raw soon enough.
Good point.
Well, I would like to see Gargano then take that Money in the Bank briefcase and just knock it upside Selfie Boy's head.
You and everybody else. Noah Foster, thank you for coming into the sports bar. I wish you could come back in at a later time. We'll set something up. I would love to have you as possibly as a regular guest. We'll work on that later. But great. Thank you for coming in. I greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. This was pretty fun. We'll see what future weeks and schedules brings.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Absolutely.
Noah.
All right, friends. It's time to shut down the bar. So get the tabs all together. Let's go ahead and do our plugs, and then we're going to do what it's Dori's version of the Stat Boys Sports Bar, or the Stat Boys shout out. So let's get our plugs in. Let's bring up the first plug, if we could, please. The first plug is later tonight, and actually in a couple of hours, the Dads Not Always on Wrestling are going to present their top 10 title changes. This was supposed to happen yesterday, but it got rescheduled. So all super chats go to Renegade's Birthday Fund. Some stuff went down, but that's okay. That's the beauty of scheduling, folks. So keep an eye out for that in about 2 hours. Up next, the Good Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Good old JM and Greg Cherry probably talking about a lot of things in the world of sports and weird laws. Love the Greg Church Show. Also, on Thursday, August 25th, the WTC Jack of All Trades at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. There will be a title defense. Did not get the names on that one. I do apologize. Jack of All Trades is a lot of fun. If you like wrestling trivia, I should try it sometime. But check out Jack of All Trades. Don't forget, good old-fashioned talk wrestling on a special day and time this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Good old Jeff Meacham on his flagship show answering your questions and comments. NWA 74 on Saturday, August 27th. Preview at 7 o'clock with the live call at 8 o'clock. Play-by-play and live reactions with the majority of us here on our channels and our multiverse of channels. NWA 74. And usually after that, we go right into open mic night where we can all get together and we all say what's on our mind with multiple topics in the multiverse. If you have not checked out open mic night, especially check it out because we say things just like in a sports bar, but we turn it up to 12, folks. NWA 74. August 28th is NWA 74. Excuse me. I think I said Saturday on that one. And what's next? Anything next after that? Am I missing something? Did we freeze? What am I missing?
Your brain, it's still not attached.
I guess not. Oh, it's a 2-day event. Oh, I apologize. It's 2 days. I thought it was just 1 day. I apologize. So the next day, the continuation of NWA 74, again, 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. is the live call. Ask the Dads on Monday, August 29th at 4 p.m. Pacific. Good old JM and the Renegade answering your questions about the world in sports, sports entertainment, not just sports. But whenever a wrestling question comes up, ask them and they will give you an answer. And that leads us right back into next week's Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Next week will be the follow-up of week 3 in the preseason and the week 1 preview. And then, of course, on Tuesday, August 30th, following Stat Boy Sports Bar is Talk Wrestling with good old Jeff Meacham at his regular time spot, 10:05 p.m. on Tuesday, August 30th. Keep an eye out on us for Twitter. There are our handles. Dori is at Hathaway Lou. I'm at LBStatKid1977. That's where we find cute videos of puppies and everything else. And Lord knows whatever we find on Twitter. So follow us there. Drop us a line. Leave us a message. Let us know you're watching the show. Ask us questions, and we'll bring them up on the sports bar. Now, normally at this time, I give out the Stat Boys shout out for the week. But this week, we're doing something new. It's going to be Dori Lou's version of the Stat Boys shout out. We're calling it let's bring up the graphic for that, please. There is one. Dori Lou's Weekly Delight, the DLW. Dori, the floor is yours.
The thought behind this is just throwing some positives out there into the universe because Lord knows we get enough negativity on the news and everything else going on. But real quick, a big shout out to our birthday boy. Thank you for helping us out tonight. Renegade, I hope you had a great day and enjoy your joint birthday dinner later. Jeff, thank you for allowing me to become a part of the shows. I'm really enjoying it and I'm learning a lot. And thank you all wonderful for your patience with me. And just a little positive today. We know like I said, there's a lot of negativity going on in the world. There are some really cute stuff on Twitter. If you like the animals like Mike does, I find them just to make him laugh and fall apart. And just remember, everybody, I'm going to steal a line from 1980. Actually, it was a stage show before it became a movie. But it involves somebody who is very dear to me right now. In this movie, one of her quotes is, "If you see someone without a smile, give them yours."
Good call.
And you
Well
know
done.
what? We all need to do that every day. We don't know what anybody's going through, and sometimes just seeing a friendly face can make all the difference in the world. So if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. Don't forget to tip your bartenders. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
As always, Josh, thank you. We'll see you next week. As always, I like to say it. I love you all. I truly do. Be safe. Stat Boy out. Next week, guys.